What's up, patrons of Stoke Nation? This is Chad Kroger coming in with a fire movie review with my dog JT. What up?
What up, dudes?
So we got an excellent movie for you guys today. Do you want to announce it?
Running Scared.
Starring Paul Walker. Gritty Paul, dude. Gritty Paul. New
On
Jersey
the move,
Paul.
dude. Roger Ebert says he doesn't act in this movie because he never stands still. I mean, which it wasn't his choice, you know. He's just running. He's running.
He's
scared.
running. Yeah. I'd be scared too. A lot of hardcore dudes coming after him.
I have to admit something up top, too. I did not watch it. I mean, I've seen it
Yeah.
10 years ago, but I crammed some YouTube clips from it in today
Okay.
of some vital scenes. They were the scenes that I remembered most, so I
Yeah.
wasn't surprised they were the scenes on YouTube.
So how much of it do you recall?
I think all of it.
All right, cool. Well, man, it's a far cry from typical Paul.
Yeah.
He really took a chance with this one, and you know what? I gotta say, the accent was fire at some points and then non-existent at others. But overall, I was rooting for Paul, and then
A perfect accent is boring.
yeah, because that's not real.
It's more fun if they mess up a couple times.
Yeah,
Yeah, because he's not really from wherever he's pretending to be from.
He was keeping us on his toes. He was like, I'm like, what's that, Boston? And he's like, nah, New Jersey, kid. And I'm like, fucking Paul, you trickster.
Also, the editing, there's scenes where like he literally only says like, you motherfucker, you piece of shit, you asshole, you fucking jerk. And like that's like all he says for like 5 minutes because the movie's so chaotic and there's always so much crazy shit going on that dialogue actually kind of fits what's going on.
Yeah, I gotta say, I did not like that side of Paul. I like Paul when he's on an island and he's tan and he's broing down with Tyrese.
Yeah.
That's what I love. But I appreciate this side of him. I thought...
Because he's a good time guy, so we like to see him
Yeah.
having a good time.
And in this, he was having a bad time the entire time.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, Paul has bad times? That kind of sucks. But, and it was an interesting movie the way it was shot.
Oh, yeah. Like
Some
the
of the-
colors,
the
it's so
colors,
like
yeah.
blue and red. It's like,
Yeah.
they really like, were like, we want to make this dark and weird.
Yeah. I watched it with Caroline, and I was just like, this is a lot darker than I imagined, than I remembered.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the darkest movies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the tangents in the movie, if we can get into that. I mean, maybe we should tell the general plot first. Do you want to explain the story?
Yeah, so the movie opens with Paul and his squad of dudes. They get in a gunfight with these guys, and they emerge victorious after a few dick shots. And then they come out from the haze and they're like, man, that was intense, but thank you for blowing that guy's face off with the shotgun. Thank you for shooting that guy's dick off. And he's like, yeah, man, I got you. And then they realize the guys that they killed were all cops, and they're like, fuck. So the head guy, Tommy, gives Paul the guns. He's like, you get rid of these, take care of business. And Paul's like, yeah, you got it, Chief. He's like, yeah, I got it, Tommy. That was his accent. And so he goes to his house and he goes home to eat dinner. He almost bones his wife. He starts boning her a little bit, and she's like, let's eat dinner. And he's like, all right, whatever, just, you look sexy. And then he goes to hide the guns in the basement. As he hides the guns in the basement, his son and his son's friend, they see him hide the guns. And his son's friend, I think, grabbed the gun because he has an abusive stepfather. You go over to the other friend, friend's house, Oleg, yeah, and his abusive stepfather is Russian, is like smoking crack, and things happen. They get in some kind of he hits the kid. Next thing you know, there's gunshots. Some of the bullets come into the other house and almost hit Paul and his family. He's like, "You motherfucker, I'm gonna fuck you up."
I remember this scene. Yeah.
And then he realizes it was Oleg who shot his stepdad. His stepdad didn't die. He just got shot in the shoulder. And he realizes Oleg took his gun. And he's like, man, I got to find this kid with this gun. I got to take these bullets out because the cops are going to identify it, and then I'm going to be fucked. So that starts the whole him running scared. And then basically it's just like a full-on chase. He's like trying to find this kid Oleg, and Oleg is getting into all mischievous adventures. He gets he's walking along and he sees like a hooker getting beat by her pimp
Lester,
and he points the gun at Lester, and then the hooker hits the guy with a bottle, and then he's running around with the hooker, and then she gets arrested. Then he's running around again. Meanwhile, Paul's trying to find him, trying to find this gun, while the other crew of dudes that Paul was with, they're like starting to get suspicious. They're like, why are you acting so weird about this? And he's like, nothing, dude, it's fine, dude, or whatever the fuck the accent is. So stakes are raising because these guys are starting to realize that the gun that was used was the gun that they used in that shootout, and they could be fucked. So, and then Oleg, he's still trying to find Oleg. And then, how much detail do I have to go in here? I don't know. Oleg and his son, they hide the gun somewhere. And then his son tells Paul, he's like, dude, I hid the gun in that toilet in the diner. He's like, why the fuck didn't you tell me now? And they go to the toilet, it's gone. Turns out the janitor took it. So now Paul's on a search to find the janitor. But then Oleg, somehow, because he's still running, he ends up in a van because he's hiding from these dudes. And the van turns out to be owned by a couple like pedophiles, these two creepy husband and wife. And they basically...
this tangent was... incredibly dark and not related to the general story at all.
They just wanted to make the movie even more fucked up.
Yeah, they're like, you think this is gritty?
Yeah.
What if the two most evil people in the world were videotaped for a couple minutes?
Yeah. So he gets an altercation. Somehow Paul's wife gets involved, and she realizes that Oleg is there with these molesters, and she goes and she saves Oleg, and she shoots those motherfuckers.
And we have to talk about that scene because she goes into their house, and it's so creepy. They have like a children's room that's like out at Disneyland.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you're a weird fuck, huh? And the lady's like, please leave.
Yeah.
And she's like, my kids are tired. And they actually have two kids in bed.
Yeah.
But then Vera Farmiga, who just has like incredible instincts, right before the lady closed the door on her, goes, no photos. No photos. She's like, if you had kids, you would have photos of them somewhere. One photo. She's like, and you don't. She just keeps going around the house, and the molesters are like perfectly cast. Like they feel very molesty. And
very
then
creepy and like
like
weird. Stepford Wild.
Yeah, like inhuman. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she goes into one room and basically finds name tags for all these kids that they killed.
Yeah.
And she finds Oleg and resuscitates him.
And she finds an incinerator.
Yeah, that they burn the children.
She finds like meat cleavers and
shit.
This
is all we should talk about is this fucking scene in the movie. This scene is incredible. I've never seen any scene like this in a movie where like just out of nowhere you're like, wait, why are we here? Why are the weirdest people ever involved in this movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why did you write this?
It just got way more creepy. I imagine when Paul was reading that with his agent, he's like, why not? What about another like beach movie? And he's like, nah.
City time.
Got to be a gritty New Jersey dude.
Yeah. Well, and then Vera Farmiga at the end of that scene kills the two molesters.
Yeah.
They're like, you won't do it. She has a gun, probably from Paul, and she shoots both of them.
And that's the other gun that was used in the shootout.
Oh,
and
really?
He's like, fuck. So he's doubly fucked. So
I can't believe she murdered those molesters.
It's a good move.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. Oh, gross.
Yeah.
Anyway, so more things happen. We end up at an ice rink because the mob employs ice hockey players.
This is the other scene we got. Dude, that was so funny.
Yeah. The ice hockey players like, dude, I just want to play for the NHL. And he's like, no, you got to help me with my dirty business.
So to torture Paul, what they do is they get all the players out to like, not the players on the hockey team, just like the players in the story, to the hockey rink. And then these like henchmen like pin Paul to the ground. And then they have like semi-pro hockey players that work for the mafia who come out fully padded up in a helmet on skates, and they hit hockey pucks into Paul's face.
Yeah.
That's how they torture him.
And there's blood everywhere. I'm like, you're going to mess up Paul's face?
Which was hinted at the beginning of the movie when he's going to take his kid to a hockey game and he says, red ice.
Yeah.
Red ice, because they hit each other. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my only
blood.
That was one qualm with the movie. I'd be like, don't fuck up Paul's face. Like, maybe fuck up his kneecaps or something. Like,
absolutely.
Just leave that face alone.
They fucked up the face a bit.
Yeah.
It's like, that's when he's like, you motherfucker, you piece of shit. And then somehow Paul, like, I don't even know if this was true, but he says Tommy was responsible for the gun thing because he was going to, like, do a hit on another mobster.
Yeah.
And then that mobster just believes Paul, and then they all start shooting each other.
Yeah. So there's Russians involved, so you never know with that. And it was just, and then Paul emerges, but there's a twist at the end. Spoiler alert, Stokers. So there's like one guy left, and he's the only guy left. Everyone else was killed in the shootout. And then he's like about to kill Paul, and Paul's like, you want to see something? And he rips open his shirt, and he's like, that's a wire. And it's a wire. He's like, I've been undercover for 12 years. My wife doesn't even know.
Makes no sense.
And you,
It makes no sense. He's literally, he like killed cops at the beginning.
yeah, he killed cops.
Yeah, like you're undercover.
I'm like, why don't you just arrest these dudes then?
Yeah, I think you got enough evidence, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So turns out Paul was undercover for 12 years and then fakes his death. And
Well, because he gets shot by Lester the pimp. The pimp
Yeah.
shows up again in the third act, like little Chekhov's gun kind of thing.
yeah,
And he's like, "You fucked with me, kid." And
Yeah.
he's gonna kill the kid. And the pimp's like this like weirdo white guy. And then yeah, Paul gets shot in the gut.
yeah. And then they make you think that Paul died.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't walk out at that point.
Well, I had to stay for the review.
Dude.
And
This is gonna force you to take
but-
in sadness.
No, but dude, you know what? I had a feeling Paul was alive. I was like, they wouldn't do that.
Right.
They wouldn't end the movie like that. He was running scared. He's got to emerge victorious. He's Paul.
And he did.
Yeah.
And at the end, happy ending, they adopt Oleg.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess in summation, if I had to describe this movie, I would describe it as just a colossal amount of shit happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's just nonstop fucking crazy shit. I would say it's nonstop fucking crazy shit. That's my review.
Yeah. Nonstop.
Nonstop fucking crazy shit. If you want to just see nonstop fucking crazy shit, see this fucking movie.
Yeah. You want to see some weird fucked up shit with Paul running and Paul being tough, and then creepy figures who get shot and molesters and stuff. It's a thriller, dude. Check it out.
If you want to see all the fucked up shit in the world and Paul Walker, this is the Paul Walker movie to see.
If you want to see Paul running scared, if you want to see Paul in a new light, see it.
Yeah. That's it.
I'd give it. Ow. I'd give it out of Paul movies. I give it a 6 out of 10.
I give it 6 out of 10. I agree. All right.
All right, that's it. That's it, Patrons. Thank you for being Patreons, and we'll see you guys later.